Hello, my name is Erlend Roneid. Welcome to this presentation on pressure pulsations at the Iveland power plant. Iveland power plant is located in Aust-Agder in the south part of Norway. The plant is hosted by Agder Energi. In 2016 they commissioned a new turbine to exploit the water available in a better way. Here you can see a picture of the entrance of the new power plant. The new plant has an installed power of 44 megawatts, exploiting a head of 50 meters and a flow rate of 100 cubic meters per second. The new turbine is experiencing loud noise and vibrations when running at loads beneath 28 megawatts. And has asked for help to find out what's the cause of this. The goal for my master thesis is to try and find the source of the noise. This has been done by performing a literature study on pressure pulsations in Francis turbine. That have included what causes them, what damage they can do, and how they can be prevented. It has also been done pressure measurements at the plant. The results from these measurements have been processed in order to analyze the data. Examples of what causes pressure pulsations is rotor-stator interactions. A pressure pulsation is created each time a guide vane passes a runner blade and vice versa. One Kármán vortices occur after a bluff body placed in a fluid stream. It oscillates with a certain frequency as illustrated in the left picture. Another example is a draft tube vortex. When the turbine is running on part load, the flow has a rotating component that creates a swirl in the draft tube. In the inner part of that swirl, something called a vortex rope might occur. This will also create a pressure pulse as it rotates with a frequency of about 1/3 of the runner frequency. If the frequency created by the rotor-stator interactions, or von Kármán, is close to the natural frequency of the runner, it might cause cracks, as you see in these pictures. In worst case, it will lead to runner failure. Pulsations made by the draft tube vortex might cause damage to the draft tube wall. Pulsations in general can also lead to a very annoying noise. The pressure pulsation measurements were done with 3 sensors mounted as illustrated in the figure. There was one mounted at the inlet and 2 on the draft tube. They were mounted 180 degrees apart. They measured with a logging frequency of 5000 Hz and the logging time was set to 60 seconds. The measurements were done on 8 operating points between 43 and 15 megawatts. If we plot the signal from one sensor, we get this graph. It shows pressure pulsations when the runner is operating at best efficiency point and where the draft tube vortex is dominating the most, which was at 27 megawatts. The graph shown is plotted in the time domain, but it's difficult to read anything from this. Therefore, we want to transfer it to the frequency domain. That is done using the discrete Fourier transform. Using the p-Welch function in MATLAB, we get this figure. It shows the result for one sensor at the draft tube. The frequency is normalized with the runner frequency. This is done to easily find the frequency that depend on the runner frequency. Here you can see the draft to vortex, which has a value of about 1/3. It is at higher operating points. It's also possible to see rotor-stator interactions, which has normalized values of 13. This matches the number of runner blades. We can also see the grid frequency of 50 Hz, which has a normalized frequency of 17. Though the vortex rope has the most dominating frequency, it's not believed to be the source of the noise. This is because the frequency is around 1 Hz, which is much lower than the audible range for humans. During the measurement, it was observed that the noise started at 27 megawatts. There was done an audio recording when the power was moving from 27 to 23 megawatts. During this period, it was observed a significant change in noise level. A spectrogram was done of the audio recording in MATLAB, and the result is shown in the top figure. It shows that there already is some noise with an abrupt change at the 10-second mark. The dominating frequency seems to be in the area of 60 to 70 Hz. (60 to 70 Hz is about 20 to 24 in normalized values. Looking at the DFT from the inlet, it's possible to see the frequency band in that range that appears at 27 megawatts and increases at 23 megawatts. Meaning that this might be the source of the noise. Where this frequency comes from is not known at this time. Some of the work that still needs to be done is of course to try and find the source of the 60 to 70 Hz frequency band. Here the von Karman vortices has been considered, but since we among other things lack drawings of the components, it is difficult to find what frequency this would produce. We are also considering doing more sound recordings with both transient and fixed operating points. So, to summarize, Iveland power plant is experiencing loud noise and vibrations when operating at part load. To investigate this problem, there has been done pressure measurements at the power plant and audio recordings. Based on that, it's believed that the noise has a frequency of 60 to 70 Hz, and the source of this is not yet found. Thank you.